Hello, all my astrology students. I'm really excited actually. I have a plethora of information for you guys, but it's all pretty straightforward. I have Mercury in Aries, and this is coming straight off the dome. I felt inspired today. We're talking about moon aspecting Pluto in the natal chart. That's the conjunction, the sextile, the trine, square, and opposition. How does the moon aspecting Pluto in a natal chart characterize or affect an individual? Well, what does the moon represent? The moon represents our emotions and feelings. It represents our daily habits, emotional responses, the ability to give and receive nurturance and nourishment, not only to ourselves, but also to others. The moon has another name, which is Soma, and that represents the body. The moon represents yin or feminine energy, the mother, our ancestors, our intuition, our psychological foundations. The moon in the natal chart answers the question, why do I react and feel the way that I do? And what does the planet Pluto represent? Pluto represents transformation, power, birth, death, and rebirth. Pluto represents regeneration and our unconscious motivations and desires. Pluto is the higher octave of the planet Mars, and it deals with obsession, control, and ego deaths. Moon-Pluto aspects characterize an individual with emotional intensity. This individual has psychological foundations that were built on the struggle for power, control, and emotional sovereignty. An individual with Moon-Pluto aspects in the natal chart often feels like they have to battle for their emotions to be seen, heard, recognized, and validated. This is because of the transformative family dynamics that they grew up in. One or both parents may have died or simply departed from the family in early childhood or teenage years. This could have resulted in the Moon-Pluto person living with different members of the family or even being adopted and fostered. This also means that individuals with Moon-Pluto placement may end up in professions where they adopt or foster children themselves. They can also take up professions as social workers or counselors. A Moon-Pluto individual can work with children or adults who have been sexually or physically abused. They may have experienced this in their childhood or even watched their parents experience sexual abuse or physical abuse, whether that's parents or members of the family. This could be the reason for their transformative family dynamics or power struggles. More often than not, the emotional intensity experienced by a Moon-Pluto individual is the result of karmic or past life actions from the matrilineal lineage, meaning that a lot of this comes from the maternal lineage, the mom side of the family. This may show up as womb trauma, right? Hormone imbalances, ovarian cyst, and fertility disorders. These are some of the generational curses or aspects of trauma that can start to show up in the matrilineal lineage of an individual who has Moon aspecting Pluto in the natal chart. A Moon-Pluto individual may find themselves in professions related to life and death. They could be doctors, gynecologists, death doulas, or individuals who specialize in end-of-life care. These individuals may work in hospice, or they could have a profession as a mortician or a grief counselor. Some other professions for a Moon-Pluto person relate to things that are underground, things that are hidden and not easily seen, or things that are considered taboo. So this can deal with jewelry or mining, right? Excavation, oil, all these things are found underground. Geologists, archaeologists, engineers, subway or train operators. A Moon Pluto person can find themselves in this profession or may have had somebody in the family who worked in this profession. Another profession that may gravitate towards a Moon Pluto person, and this will relate to individuals who have strong Scorpio placements, strong 4th house and 8th house placements in their chart as well. They may find themselves gravitating towards tattoo artistry. They may gravitate towards psychology, just really trying to understand the psyche, understanding the soul of an individual. They may be somebody who's fascinated with past lives or quantum healing hypnosis, somebody who wants to understand life between life and what happens before or after death, right? An individual with Moon Pluto aspects may gravitate towards a profession as an occultist, or may just gravitate towards occult information. They may find themselves as a Reiki master or interested in Reiki healing. These tantric workers, Kundalini yoga teachers, anything dealing with Kundalini energy healing can definitely relate to somebody who has this aspect in their natal chart. Last but not least, I have to acknowledge the sex workers and the dancers. Individuals who work nightlife often find themselves, individuals with Moon aspecting Pluto or strong Scorpio or 8th house placements like Moon in Scorpio or Moon in the 8th house, they may find themselves gravitate towards these professions: sex work, dancing, or just working nightlife, period. You can be a security guard who works at night, right? Or somebody who just works an overnight shift. You feel more comfortable working in the nighttime when everybody's sleeping and the rest of the world is hidden or tucked away. The lowest or a dense expression of Moon Pluto energy characterizes an individual who is constantly playing the victim and the villain. They use emotionally manipulative techniques to gain power and control over others. These techniques or tactics may look like gaslighting, stealing, lying, or just not necessarily outright lying, but being very covert with the information that you provide to other people. Silent treatment is another emotionally manipulative technique. Guilt tripping other people, triangulation, the list goes on and on. A dense expression of an individual with Moon aspecting Pluto in the natal chart is an individual who tells their story of abuse in a disempowering way, whether that's emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, or just not having their parents present in their early childhood life, having that transformative family dynamic, having to live with other people, not really having the nurturing, the nourishment that they needed from their mother in early childhood, because the mom was maybe dealing with some Pluto aspect of life, whether that's addiction, whether that's something having to do with sex or things that are taboo in that area. Maybe the mom was battling, or she could have just been hospitalized. Maybe she's just, struggling for her life in the hospital and couldn't really take care of her child. Whatever the case is, I just wanted to highlight that because it's not just about abuse, right? Or in everybody's perception of abuse and their trauma is subjective to them, right? So a dense expression of Moon Pluto energy characterizes an individual who constantly plays the victim and the villain. They use emotionally manipulative techniques to gain power and control over others. They tell their story of abuse in a disempowering way and use their abuse as social and political currency to get what they want out of life, to fulfill their desires, to take advantage of others, and to attempt to gain status. The highest expression of Moon Pluto energy is an individual who takes the emotionally intense and transformative near-death experiences that they encountered in childhood and their early life, and they use it as fuel to empower themselves, to help themselves heal grow and evolve and to help other people do the same. And again, here I wanted to highlight that somebody with Moon Pluto energy may not necessarily have experienced a near-death experience for themselves. Maybe they had an individual in their family, their mother, because Moon represents the mother, or a significant parent figure in their life who experienced a near-death experience. I know that sounded redundant. Or it could just have been an ego-shattering experience, an ego death, an experience that completely transformed their emotional life and their emotional responses, as well as their psychological foundation. They can use this energy to empower themselves and to empower others, or to take advantage of other people, to manipulate other people, and in an attempt to gain status and control. I definitely would love to make a part 2 of this video. Please, please, please let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.